Okay, welcome to video number 4, and in this video I'm going to be going over the plugins. I'll try to be relatively brief with this particular video because the important aspects of some of these plugins kind of deal with monetization, which will be the last video. So, but I'll still give an overview, and all of the plugins will, there is a link to all the plugins. Over 90% of them are downloadable from the WordPress repository, plugin repository, so you can read up more about them if you want to learn more about how to use them or what have you. But for the most part, this video will just go over the basics of them, and the final video will delve into a couple of them a bit deeper. So inside the blog, first thing I would do is most likely you're going to have an update. Some of the plugins will need to be updated, so you might as well go ahead and in plugins, and then click plugins, and then click update available. It'll tell you how many are available. And the quick AdSense plugin, I'll go ahead and click update automatically. Most of you already know this, but it's always good to have the most up-to-date plugins when possible. And then I'm not going to activate this plugin just yet. So I just updated it, but it wasn't activated. You can activate a plugin once you've updated it, but I'll return to plugins and just quickly mention a few. There are several different plugins out there that allow you to add. You can even use a text widget, but I'm using a couple plugins. One's called Add Codes Widget, and by the same makers. These plugins are created by primothemes.com. The other one is Add Squares Widget, and those widgets pertain to the banners. So this is Add Codes, and this is Add Squares. You can have up to 8 125 by 125 banners. So 2, 4, 6, 8. You could have 8 here. You could probably have more than that actually, but 8 at a time, I suppose you could say. Excuse me. And let's see what else. Just go back to my notepad. All-in-one QFont that allows you to have change different fonts up here in your header. I'll go over that one in greater detail, greater depth, because there are some things to mention, especially if you use this theme as a standalone theme on another blog and you want to use the same font. It's using a QFont font, I suppose you could say. Let's see, all-in-one SEO. I'll just go to that one quickly because this is relatively important. As you can see up here, it says AdSense Tips and Tricks, which was the original name that I'd given here, but in my other video I showed you how to change the title of your blog. However, it doesn't match. So this used to say AdSense Tips and Tricks, but I changed that, and this still says AdSense Tips and Tricks. Your site title is important from an SEO point of view, and how it's, for example, if you were to find this demo blog in Google, you would actually see this title. These keywords are on-page optimization, so this is an H1 tag, so it helps with on-page optimization based on your keywords. However, your title tag is very important. As you can see, they don't match up, so it's best if they match up. They don't have to, but it kind of makes sense to do that. So so the all-in-one SEO plugin, most people know about this one, but if you don't, that's all right. If you go to settings and then all-in-one SEO. So right now I have this earn money from AdSense as if I wanted that to be the title of my blog, I would stick to the title of your home title, to something similar to your domain. So if you had a blog called what do I call this? Earn money from AdSense, earn money from your website. This title tag is now keyword rich and something that Google pays attention to as the title of your blog, and this is what would show up in the SERPs, in the Google results page, as well as Yahoo and Bing. So this is important. Now, if I had a blog called earnmoneyfromyourwebsite.com, I would use these keywords to emphasize the keywords within my domain name. So I hope that makes sense. So sometimes I'll even add a vertical pipe, it's called, and say my domain was actually called Earn Money From Your Website. I'd have, you know, something like, oops, earn money from your website.com. So then this would be one long title tag. So that's something I do on occasion. It depends on, you know, the actual domain name, but that's something you can do. But the point is, if you can, you know, for your site title tag to put in your main keywords of what you're trying to rank for, at least the home page to rank for, and then add a description as well, because this will also show up in the Google SERPs. So, you know, try to throw in some of your keywords in your site description. Your keywords, you know, for the past 2-3 years, maybe even longer, supposedly, at least Google and Yahoo don't really give much credence to keywords. But you know, while you're here, you might as well add them in. So AdSense, Google, advertising, website, whatever. And that's really all I do with this plugin. I don't really delve into these other formats, but you can certainly play around if you like. And then of course click Update Options. So the most important is your title tag, your home title tag, and your description. Okay, if you have no keywords at all, that would be fine for the most part. Matter of fact, I would say that would be fine completely, but these two are important. Okay, let's go back to plugins and see what else. The Amazon Feed plugin. I'll go into this plugin in greater depth. It's located under Tools and Amazon Feed. I'll go into greater depth when I go into the monetization video. But one thing I did notice about this plugin, if we go to AdSense products, to the product page on all these blogs, these are all books that you can purchase from Amazon, and they have my affiliate, well, they have my AWS key, my secret key, as well as my affiliate tag. Excuse me. So you obviously want to change that out. Now if you went to Tools and then Amazon Feed and you go to Options, you'll see here's my AWS access key, this is my secret key, and this is my Amazon associate tag. Now I noticed based on some previous customers, they had changed all this out and click Save, and it still showed my associate tag. So what I discovered was that if you go back to plugins and you deactivate the plugin, let's just try that. Amazon Feed, deactivate it. Now I haven't changed any details such as my associate tag, and then so there probably will be no changes, but if you reactivate it, so deactivate and then reactivate, and then go back to Amazon Feed. Whoops, press the wrong one. Go back to Options. Let's see what happens here. Okay, so they've actually disappeared. So that's what I would do actually. Before you even add your information, you might as well deactivate it and then reactivate it. Some plugins actually save the information, you know, because they create tables in the database, and but this one seems to wipe that clean. That's okay. That seems to be the only thing. Once again, I'll go into this plugin in greater depth, but oops, didn't mean to do that either. Right, click Options again. Hopefully all this other stuff will remain the same, but I'll check it later. But you'll want your access key, secret access key, and associate tag, then click save. So yeah, just deactivate and then reactivate it, and then come back here and add that information. If you haven't signed up, if you're not sure what an AWS key is, what you need to do is first go to aws.amazon.com and sign up for a free account, and then as you log in, I'll log in the next video and show you how to access your keys. But once you sign into your access keys, you create a free account, you'll be able to get your access key and your secret access key, and you should already have your associate tag if you have already signed up to the Amazon affiliate program. Just remember that if you feel that majority of your traffic will be US traffic, then you sign up with Amazon.com. If you feel that your traffic will be from the UK, then you sign up with Amazon.co.uk. Not so much the web services, but just as an affiliate. And you have to decide, your locale. Select your locale. United Kingdom, Canada. So this particular plugin, you don't have to use this plugin. You can completely delete it and not use it at all, and use a different Amazon plugin on your AdSense products page. You can completely delete this page. It's really up to you. I'm just kind of mentioning a few things about the Amazon Feed plugin. Let me just go back. Backup Buddy is a great plugin. I've updated it to the latest version as of today, which is the 4th of April 2011, and just go to that quickly. What's great about this is, say for example you set up a site, you change some of the content, some of the images, and you want to sell it on Flippa or to one of your customers or clients, then what you can do, and this is obviously it'd already be on your domain and you have your own domain for it, you've completely customized it, then you can go to Backup Buddy, click Backups. Hope you can see all that. And then I can click Create Full Backup. This maybe take 5 or 10 seconds. Okay, so now I've got the full backup that I can now download to my desktop. That is the same exact, well, it's the same kind of excuse me, backup zip like that you received when you purchased these blogs, or any one of these blogs. So it's that easy. So you would just include, so if you wanted to install it for your someone who bought your site, you would just create your backup, download the zip file, download the import buddy, or include the importbuddy.php file, upload it to their server, just the same exact way you installed this. Create a database, upload this zip, upload the importbuddy.php file, and go through steps 1 through 6, and they'll probably be amazed at how quickly you're able to get this blog onto their server. Excuse me. So that's Backup Buddy. Let's see, what else do I have here? Sitemap plugins, they're good for on-page optimization. Essentially, if you went down to the bottom, oops, and you click the sitemap, this is a PHP, or it's a page, sitemap page. So here, this is good for Google spiders, but you also have an XML sitemap plugin, which you can use for Google Webmaster Tools, and it's also good for the spiders. If you're submitting, there's not just Google Webmaster Tools, there's Yahoo's Site Explorer, I think it's called, and Bing Webmaster Tools. I can't remember exactly if that's what it's called, but I usually submit my XML sitemap to all three major search engines. So you can see sitemap.xml. I'll just go back to the home page here. What else? Analytics. Google Analytics. If you don't plan to use analytics, Google Analytics, I should say, you don't have to use this plugin. Some people use StatCounter or other analytics programs, And you would enter your UA code that you get when you create a new profile at Google Analytics, and make sure this box is ticked. So you can enter that there. You can tell it where you'd like to insert your Google tracking. Update analytics. Now let's just say, for example, I've had some customers who say they don't use Google Analytics. How else can they add analytics to this particular theme? So I'll just show you quickly. I would go to Appearance, Streamline Theme Options. No, I'm sorry, that's wrong. Let me actually go to Appearance and Editor. This is sort of the more manual way to do it. And click over here to the right, click Header. And then if you scroll down, I would say anywhere before the head, the closing head tag, which is here, you can add your analytics code if you want the code to be in the header. This is in the header.php file. Or you could click, what might even be better, is if you click the footer.php file, and you scroll down, and right above the closing body tag, you could, insert analytics code here. So as long as it's before the closing body tag, that's where you can insert your analytics. And then click Update File. And then you could even do that with Google Analytics and just get rid of that plugin entirely. You can do that. Go back to plugins again. And just a quick mention, there are multiple plugins out there, but I use these two for all blogs that I install. One is, let me just move this down a little bit. One is Secure WordPress and Login Lockdown, and essentially they just help protect your blog a little bit more from hackers, because it does happen to WordPress blogs where there's some people out there who enjoy hacking into people's blogs, and I don't know the technically how they do it, but it does happen. So having something like Login Lockdown, where if you type in the incorrect username and or password more than 3 times, then it locks you out and you have to wait 20 minutes or something. So you can imagine if a hacker's trying to get into your blog and figure out your password, it's just going to make it that much more difficult for them to do it, and hopefully they'll just leave your blog alone. Same with Secure WordPress. You can read more up about these if you like, but I do include them because I know that hacking does occur. So I just think it helps secure your blog a bit more. And let's just move this back over here. And search and replace. And this is a new plugin that I've just added just a few days ago. And this is located in Tools as well. And search and replace I'll go into on the final video about monetization. But basically what it's going to help you do is, let's go back to the home page here. If you want to find out what my hop link is for this particular merchant, this particular ClickBank vendor, is you can right click, at least in Firefox, this is what it'll say. You can copy link location and then go into Notepad and then just Control V or right click paste. Okay, so that's my hop link. So you obviously want to change out my hop link with your own hop link. So you can take that, copy it, and you can go into the search and replace plugin, which again is in Tools, and you can search for, I'll just do a Control V to paste that in, and you can replace it with, let's say that was your hop link. Your hop link, and then replace those out. But I'll go through that in greater depth in the final video, because that's more about monetization, and it will change out. It should change out all of my instances of hop links with your own. So it should save you some time. I think that's about it. Last plugin I'll go over actually, and which makes more sense to do it now because it doesn't have to do with monetization, is the all-in-one coupon plugin. Now, there are two, okay, this doesn't concern you in terms of the, what I'm trying to say is there's another folder that includes all the fonts. I'll go to all-in-one QFont now. It's right here, all-in-one QFont under settings. Now what I've done is included all these fonts. And if you want to use this theme as a standalone theme, meaning on your own, a different blog that already has content, and you want to use this theme, and you like these fonts, the fonts that are used on the blog, which basically are here, the titles of these articles, the title of this category, as well as down here, the four widgets, the titles of the four widgets. These are using two different fonts. Then you'll need the all-in-one QFont plugin. But there's also another folder called QFont fonts, and I'll find that one. Just give me 1 second. Okay, I just wanted to find the folder without having to waste time. But you'll see in your documentation that there's under the README first folder, that there's another folder called standalone theme and plugins. And if you want, as mentioned, to that if you use this theme and you want it to look more or less like this one does now, at least in terms of the font, the theme, and this slider, featured content gallery, then in particular the QFont font, you'll need the all-in-one QFont plugin and this zip file, the QFont fonts. Now, I normally upload this through FTP. You can upload it through File Manager, and it needs to go into your plugins folder. So if you uploaded these two through File Manager, which I can show you here, if we went to File Manager, like we did before, and since the blog has already been extracted, we double-click WP Content, Plugins. You'll see here, there's the all-in-one QFont, that's the plugin itself, and then QFont fonts is the folder that actually but it's not a plugin, but it still goes in the same plugins folder on your blog. So this folder is not a plugin. I've never actually tried to upload it as a plugin through WordPress, so I would just probably within your plugins folder is upload all-in-one QFont fonts and just extract them both. So normally you would just right-click. I can't extract it because it's already been extracted, but if this was a zip file and this was a zip file, then I would just right-click and click extract, or that would highlight, that would show up in color, and I would click extract. So you basically want the all-in-one QFont plugin and the QFont fonts folder in the same plugins folder of that blog. I hope that makes sense, because you need those fonts in order to use the fonts. So so all these fonts are in that QFont fonts folder. I hope that makes sense. Now, as mentioned, at the moment I'm only using two fonts, and that's in the title, as well as the title of the category, the title of these articles on the home page, and the title of these four widgets down here, footer widgets. So you can see the font. This is called Lobster. So if you were to if you wanted to use these fonts within, you include the all-in-one QFont plugin, extract it, the QFont fonts folder, extract that, and then when you go to settings, all-in-one QFont, you would need to tick the box of Lobster 1.4 and tick the box of Yanon Kafisats for the top one, because the 400 pertains to a regular font, 700 pertains to a bold version of the same font. So you can switch these, you can change fonts around. For example, if you want this header font to use the same font as the title of these which is Lobster 1.4, then what you'd need to do is, what I would do is highlight that, right click, copy, or Control C. H1 home, that is this title tag, which is an H1 tag. Okay, so right now it's using Yanon Kafisats, so it's using this font here, which is a nice font. But if you wanted to, and then I can do a Control V to paste that. So paste, so I can change the font to Lobster 1.4. Just move this down a little bit, and then click Update Options. Let's see how that looks now. It'll use the Lobster font now. Okay, so you can see that the font has changed. So it gives you a bit, you know, and it almost looks like it was done in a graphics program like Photoshop. You know, they're a little bit. There are a few things that don't quite match up, like earn money from. Where did the AdSense go? It's disappeared. It's because this font is rather large in its current setting, and so it's wrapped around behind the navigation bar. So there are a couple things you can do. One is you can reduce the size of the font here. Let's try 40 pixels. And click Update Options. And I'm going to refresh that page. Okay, so now, you know, and you can just kind of keep playing with it if you want it a little bit closer or a little bit larger. So that's one thing you can do, is just change the size of the font within this plugin. But the point is, you need this plugin, and inside the documentation of this folder, if you double click instructions for using the standalone theme, all this text here is the exact same text as here. Okay, so imagine you installed the theme, you want to use the same plugin, so you've installed all-in-one QFont plugin and the QFont fonts folder, both zip files. You extracted them in File Manager, and you know, you go to Settings, all-in-one QFont, and this will be blank. So you won't have the styling that I've mentioned, so you can just take this from the instructions for using standalone theme.txt, do a Control C or right click copy, paste that in here, and of course it goes back to Yanon Kafisats as the main font at 58 pixels. So I'll just go ahead and put that back, but I hope that makes sense. You can play around, and you can use different fonts for your header. Let's just refresh that. Okay, so it goes back to that font. You can do the same for featured, which you can featured. Okay, article. This would be the title of the articles. The footer is an H4 tag, so you can change that font. You know, so you can add some styling to this without needing Photoshop. That's the main reason why I didn't include logos and graphics that required Photoshop, because I figured most people don't have Photoshop. So yeah, so and then the last thing, I suppose, just to mention again, which would be the featured content gallery plugin. So all you need to do is activate the featured content gallery plugin, all-in-one QFont, just as I mentioned, and you know, you won't have images automatically appear. Of course, you have to upload them, and you have to add the post IDs, just like I showed you in the second video, I think it was, or the third video. Anyway, you know, the point is if you want it to look more or less like this blog, you know, theme, I should say, then you'll need those plugins. You can always add these plugins as well if you want to carry on with the very similar layout. So I hope that makes sense. I think everything else is relatively explanatory. Some people have asked me, do I really need all these plugins? Do I need all the plugins you've included? Of course you don't. You know, if you know of a plugin that can add this size banner, 300 by 250 and these 125 by 125 banners without needing two, by all means, add those plugins. Delete these two and add just one. Um, you know, you can really do whatever you want with these blogs, but I do take into account that the more plugins you have, it technically can slow your blog down. I'm very aware of that, but you know, these are you know these are the plugins I use to make the blogs look the way they do. So it's really up to you if you want to get rid of some of these, and if you're not worried about people hacking your blog, and get rid of those. And once you've done the search and replace, to replace all my hop links, you can get rid of that plugin. There's quite a bit you can do. So anyway, I hope this makes sense. And in the final video, I'll be going over how to change out hop links. I'll mention all the monetization areas so that you can make sure that you swapped out any instances of my hop links or AdSense, and that really should be it. And oh, sorry, I just wanted to mention something quickly regarding this. Is really this information, I tell you what, I'll mention it in the next video. Yeah, so that's it. Thanks very much.